Daniel Osbourne is falling apart after discovering that his girlfriend, Megan Walsh, had only been using their relationship to cover up her grooming of teenager Will Driscoll. The revelation left Daniel humiliated, especially because he was the person who gave her a job in the first place. Megan became yet another troubled woman Daniel tried to save, only for the situation to end disastrously for him once again. Daniel has already endured years of heartbreak. His first wife, Sinead Tinker, sadly died from cancer, Daisy Midgley betrayed him by cheating, and his engagement to Bethany Platt collapsed because he could never truly move on from Daisy. Now, the fallout from Megan's crimes is beginning to damage Daniel's teaching career as well. After Hope Stape wrote a cruel poem mocking Daniel's connection to Megan, he lost his temper and attempted to grab the paper from her. Hope later accused him of assault, leading Mrs. Crenshaw to suspend him from Weatherfield High. Embarrassed by the situation, Daniel kept the suspension a secret from his family. He pretended he was going away to the lakes, but instead stayed hidden in his flat, drinking heavily and sinking deeper into despair. As if his life was not chaotic enough already, Daniel ends up sharing his home with manipulative troublemaker Jodie Ramsey. After her revenge scheme against her sister Shona failed spectacularly, Jodie was left homeless. She secretly broke into Daniel's flat and, when caught, blackmailed him into letting her stay by threatening to expose his drinking and isolation to his family. Despite the bizarre arrangement, the pair begin to bond while Daniel becomes the target of an online troll using the name Truthteller. The anonymous posts accuse Daniel of knowing about Megan's grooming of Will and even revive old rumors involving Summer Spellman. Jodie cleverly points the blame towards Megan, but viewers soon discover the shocking truth. Jodie herself is the person behind the trolling account. It appears she is deliberately keeping Daniel emotionally unstable so she can continue living under his roof. Things soon spiral even further when the online abuse begins affecting Daniel's young son, Bertie. Daniel later confides in his father Ken that Bertie is being bullied because of the hateful posts, and he becomes determined to uncover whoever is responsible. Back at the flat, Jodie is seen reading Daniel's angry online response before he suddenly walks in and questions what she is doing. Her secret identity as Truthteller may finally be close to exposure. Unable to rest, Daniel obsessively scrolls through the cruel messages late into the night. Jodie remarks that the original troll has gone quiet, but other people online have now joined in with the attacks. Soon afterwards, Daniel is confronted in the street by two teenagers who throw paint over him while mocking him relentlessly. Furious and humiliated, he lashes out and threatens them, unaware they are recording the entire confrontation on video. The pressure finally becomes too much for Daniel inside Speed Doll when he notices Idris laughing at the footage of his public humiliation. With Daniel emotionally shattered and his anger spiraling out of control, it seems Jodie's manipulation may have pushed him beyond his limits. Fans of Coronation Street have been left puzzled by Christina Boyd's version of events surrounding the night Theo Silverton was murdered, with many viewers convinced she is hiding something important. Soap fans will remember that Christina Boyd returned to Weatherfield late last year after being betrayed by her daughter, Daisy Midgley. Her comeback happened around the same time Eileen Grimshaw departed the cobbles, and before long, Christina found herself growing close to Undertaker George Shuttleworth despite her reputation for causing trouble. Now both Christina and George are caught up in the huge murder investigation after becoming suspects in Theo Silverton's death. Several weeks have passed since viewers discovered that abusive Theo was the victim of the mystery killing teased earlier this year. Back in February, Coronation Street aired a dramatic flash-forward episode showing that a shocking crime would soon take place in Weatherfield, with Betsy Swain discovering a dead body. It was later revealed that Betsy would find the victim during the celebrations following her mother, Lisa Swain's wedding to Carla Connor. At the time, the possible victims were revealed as Theo, Carl Webster, Jodie Ramsey, Megan Walsh, and Maggie Driscoll. Although Lisa and Carla's wedding aired on April 23rd, The true victim was not confirmed until a week later, after several special episodes focused on each suspect. Eventually, Betsy stumbled upon Theo's lifeless body, bringing his long campaign of abuse and manipulation against Todd Grimshaw to a brutal conclusion. Before Theo's death, Todd had been desperately trying to escape him while playing a dangerous game to stay one step ahead. Todd managed to go into hiding and contacted Christina Boyd to explain the situation to both her and George Shuttleworth. Christina quickly rushed off to help Todd while instructing George to remain at home. Elsewhere, Summer Spellman became trapped in Theo's violent behavior after he confronted her and demanded her phone before throwing it out of the window. Not long afterwards, Betsy made the horrifying discovery outside. Since then, suspicion has fallen on Todd, George, Christina, Summer, Gary Windus, and Theo's former wife, Danielle Silverton. However, many viewers are particularly suspicious of Christina because of her recent actions. Fans noticed Christina repeatedly encouraging George to tell police that he saw Summer running near Todd and Theo's flat on the night of the murder. Christina herself was later questioned again by detectives after inconsistencies appeared in her statement. She admitted she had forgotten to mention stopping for petrol while driving to find Todd. The confusing explanation immediately sparked theories online, with many fans believing Christina is trying to divert blame onto Summer. One viewer wrote, "I've suspected Christina ever since she loudly mentioned taking George's jumper to the dry cleaners right in front of Lisa. It sounded exactly like someone trying to frame another person." Another fan questioned, "What exactly are George and Christina hiding? She stopped for petrol while driving to Inkerman Street and also got caught in traffic. None of it makes sense." A different viewer commented, "Christina keeps pushing George to turn on Summer. What is she covering up?" Someone else added, "Is Christina actually the killer? She seems desperate to throw Summer under the bus. I still think it could also be Theo's ex-wife or maybe even his son." Another Coronation Street fan posted, "I'm convinced Christina murdered Theo now, although maybe the timeline doesn't fully match up." Meanwhile, another viewer shared, "I hate saying it, but Christina's manipulative side seems to be returning. She keeps shifting suspicion onto George and Summer, even though she hasn't exactly been truthful herself." Thursday's episode sees Summer finally reveal her version of events after Todd pressures her to explain what really happened during her final encounter with Theo. Summer admits that she was dishonest about the timeline, confessing that she actually saw Theo on the very night he died rather than several days earlier. She tells Todd that, aside from the real killer, she believes she may have been the last person to see Theo alive. When Todd questions why she kept the truth hidden, Summer explains that she despised Theo because of the pain he caused both Billy and Todd. She reveals that she had planned to pay Carl to frame Theo and send him to prison, believing that was where he deserved to be. Summer goes on to admit that after Theo was murdered, she became terrified that Carl might somehow have been involved. Out of fear, she lied about her whereabouts on the night of the killing. However, doubts still remain over whether Summer is being completely truthful. Several suspicious clues continue pointing in her direction, including the blood-covered brooch she wore during Carla and Lisa Connor Swain's wedding reception. Adding to the suspicion, Summer also destroyed her personal journal, which reportedly contained emotional entries describing her hatred towards Theo for abusing Todd and leaving Billy fighting for his life. Coronation Street airs on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.